Hi. Hey. How's everyone doing? Good. Well, I'm an old guy. Rob says he's old, but I'm the old guy here. And I want to talk to you about how you can use avatars, virtual twins, to really magnify your impact. So I'm going to leave it to my twin to just introduce what we're going to talk about today. And let's make, I might have to make sure we have our audio setting on. I think we do.
Good afternoon, AI Summit guests. I'm Virtual John, and here's what we'll do over the next 20 minutes. Explain what a human double is, why voice matters, what it can and can't do yet, and a couple of quick demos.
Okay, so that's kind of a version of me, but it's not real me. But we're going to explore avatars and really why they're different from, do I have to explain chatbots to anyone in the room? Probably not. So chatbots still have a purpose, and I'm not looking at avatars replacing all the chatbots out there, but avatars allow us to create entirely different relationships. And the purpose behind an avatar is really to try to form some kind of digital relationship that will tie a customer to us, that'll make our staff more engaged with us, stakeholders, and anyone we're trying to reach out to. And there's three real main types of avatars that we deal with right now. We have synthetic avatars, and they're wonderful because they're not based on a real person. They're not going to get you into trouble with your brand. Wonderful for workflows where we want to do FAQ. So taking an FAQ that's very impersonal that you have to read, switching it over to an avatar, we can have it delivered in an engaging way. We can have it delivered in a way that people actually have a bit of a relationship starting to form. Explainer videos, anywhere where you want 24/7 awareness, and also something that's not going to age. It's going to stay with you whatever way you want. Human double was what you saw at the start. So that avatar is based on video footage where it basically learns from me how I move, how I talk, some of my facial expressions, and then we marry it up with a voice clone. So in that case, it's scripted, but it's scripted using AI. It's scripted using automation. So my avatar is trained on me. I've got an AI specific that all it does is it gets to know me, how I present, how I talk. I am mic'd up today because I do a debrief with my avatar afterwards. So it constantly learns from me, and I learn from it, telling me what I got right, and also telling me what I didn't quite get right with an audience. So these can be used for messages where you can automate and have yourself coming into an email, introducing yourself, but this can be done where automatically it is changing the introduction. It's changing the person it's talking to. It can be changing the language at the same time. So you can get mass presence for email intros. I do a lot of workshops. We got a big crowd in here. I do a lot of workshops. 30% of my workshop is delivered by my avatar. And it's delivered in a more concise way. You know, I mumble on a little bit, but my avatar has no ums, buts, or ahs. It can condense it. So when I'm doing a demo, the avatar will do a better demo with me with technology than I will be able to. Just sending out thank yous, getting out notes to people. So anytime where you want authenticity, but the efficiency of automation, a scripted AI scripted avatar is an amazing way to go. But interactive avatars are probably the thing that gets me excited. That's why I'm charged up. I'm heading towards 60, but this technology is allowing us to really all of a sudden have real two-time conversation. So this is where we can be doing live training sessions, coaching, guided support. How many of you have engaged with an interactive avatar? Not a lot, but you know what? This year, a lot of you will. So I'm going to give you a short demo if technology allows us. But really, when we've seen those 3 different kinds of use cases for avatars, it's about thinking, what job needs doing? How much interaction or personalization do I need? And do I need synthetic, scripted, or an interactive? An interactive can be either. So all night, the only thing that kept me up was whether or not there would be good enough internet with everyone here being on their phones that we could actually do a demo. So I am going to give it a try and see if we can get this. This is a synthetic interactive avatar. Now, something coming up on your screen?
Hey, Gen Labs. Here we go.
Perfect.
Hi, I'm the AI Summit Concierge. Ask me about sessions, rooms, or speakers, and I'll provide the details in under 20 seconds.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to see you're working. I'm interested in ethics and AI. Could you give me a couple of suggestions for today?
Sure. For ethics and AI, I recommend Building an Inclusive Future, ChatGPT, the Game Changer in Collaborative Environments, in room 1430, 1255, 1325. This session explores AI's role in fostering inclusivity. The Human Cost of AI, Automation, Equity, and Labor in room 1420, 1250, 1310, a panel discussing AI societal impacts. Would you like a quick summary of either?
No, skip the summary, but I'd be curious as to, if I can only choose one, which one would you choose?
I recommend Building an Inclusive Future in room 1430, 1255, and 1325. It offers practical insights on using AI to promote inclusivity, which is a key aspect of AI ethics. Want to know where to find it?
No, I think I'll be good on my own, but thanks very much and have a great day.
You're welcome. Enjoy the summit and have a great day too. If you need anything else.
I kind of cut her off a little bit. But
Can I just ask a very quick question?
Yes.
I don't mean to interrupt.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So when we're talking about an AI double,
yes,
so is that a double of someone else, or
No.
is that a synthetic?
that is a great
avatar?
question. This is a synthetic, but the training that I did, I could have had my virtual self deliver exactly that. It could have been any of the people at the summit organizers that could have been replacing that part. So and that's about 20 minutes of giving it the information on what was happening at the summit. And because it's powered by an LLM behind, it could also tell you where the restaurants were close by, how long it would take you to get somewhere. Everything else that you would expect from getting from ChatGPT or from another platform for that matter. But you get the personalization. You build in the guardrails in terms of how you want it to interact with people, but I'm thrilled because this was the part I wasn't sure if we could actually get in a room with all the cell phones going. So training is really the secret part to it. I'm not crazy technical. I used to think I was technical because I traveled around. I had a fax machine in my car, and I could plug it into a hotel, and that was really high tech at the time. But when it comes to training it, you got to think as it's like an executive assistant. If you don't give them enough information on how you think, how you value, it's not really going to do much for you. So values are making sure you're encoding. What do we always do? What do we never do? How do we prioritize speed versus quality, impact versus deadline? And also those if this, then that rules putting in there. But tone and voice. What are the words that we use? So if we're using this as a clone of ourselves, how do we introduce ourselves? How do we close off sentences? But we need a lot of guardrails. In the same way that chatbots do that really well, when do you escalate? And how do you escalate? An interactive avatar, given all those rails, can do all of that stuff that you want, but with the benefit that it's actually creating a bit of a relationship. I've had these out testing and working in the tourism end. It's amazing how many people go back and they want to talk with that particular avatar because it engages. And so training it, this is kind of a weird, and sometimes it's controversial. I'm a big believer in sharing a lot with my AI so they can understand and know. You might say there's one conversation going on right now. I'm talking. But if you look around, all of you are having a conversation in here. It's that inner voice that's really important for a training part. It's learning to speak out loud and learning to debrief. Biggest reason I wear a mic and I record myself constantly is I'll go afterwards and I'll debrief with my AI. I'll talk about what was I thinking when I changed course? What was I thinking when I made that decision? Explaining that thought pattern. Think of it as when DeepSeek came out, and a lot of people were amazed because you could see the thought process going through, right? And we got to learn how to ask better questions and understand it because we're understanding how something really smart thinks. So allowing an AI to understand how we think, how we place values, what's important for us, really makes a huge difference on how we can make something completely personal. We're not trying to get it so it can make all our decisions, but ideally we want to be able to open up a little bit more of the process for engagement if we are going to use one that's going to be, say, of ourselves. So voice is, I talked about our inner voice. A lot of people talk about voice cloning, and I've been doing that since day one. And voice is an important one. I mean, people say, well, I got my voice cloned. And I'll say, which one? And they look at me funny. We all have different voices. I don't talk like this when I'm sitting down with a friend. I don't talk like this I talk like this when I'm presenting. So we all have different voices and different mannerisms depending on it. So I'm just gonna, if you watch closely, Virtual John will take you through just a few different voices, small differences, but they're still there.
Cloning your voice isn't about taking shortcuts. It's about capturing the rhythms that make you, you. In this case study, teams cut responses by 41% without adding headcount. Here's the mind shift. Let's go from tasks to teammates, agentic systems that can actually carry load. Look, I'm not saying the robot's wrong, but maybe let's double check before we send that email. If this feels overwhelming, that's normal. We'll start with one small, repeatable win.
So what I'm trying to get at there is, and the changes are subtle, but when we're trying to build relationships, those changes are very huge in terms of how we interact. So everything that you see advertised about, 30 seconds, give me 2 or 3 minutes of your voice and we're going to clone it, is a pretty crappy clone. Now maybe they'll change it over time, but typically it's about a 2 to 3 hour process with very good, clear audio, getting rid of the coughs, and doing it in a particular style. So if your avatar for yourself or if your avatar for your business is going to have a specific task, get the voice that suits the task. It's a little bit of time to do it, but once you have that, you get a much better experience. They're already becoming more expressive, so you can now enhance voice. You can speed it up a little bit to time of presentation, and you can also get a little bit more emphasis when you need to. It's only going to improve, but you still need to remember that we have more than one voice in our day-to-day life. Now, the other part that's very important is visuals build trust. I'm not very fashionable. My wife was against what I was going to wear today, but that's how it goes. But it's important that our avatar, that we also dress it for what it needs to be.
Looks do matter, so let's make sure we get it right. Delivering some safety content? Wear the kit. Credibility goes up when the avatar models the standard. Remember, legal or professional topics deserve a conservative visual. Think clarity, not flair. For internal training, a relaxed look raises approachability and keeps learners engaged. Delivering a brand update, use brand colors, the logo, and the right backdrop. Same voice, right look, equals better trust. If the task changes, the wardrobe should too. Okay, Real John, your turn.
So looks are important. Think of just the way that we show up for different things. A synthetic avatar, you can actually dress it digitally now. So you can change outfits, do style. It's not quite there with people, but what we do is we just You just have to make sure that you're filming different looks that are going to be right, different looks that are appropriate. I worked with Rob on doing an avatar for him. He's Italian, so we need to get a few things where his hands are really moving around to get some of the motion going. But you can create that right look that you need for the situation. We're not 100% there yet, but look at everything that we've hit tech-wise. Whatever we're seeing now is the worst possible way. It's going to be better. In the last 6 months, it's been going crazy better. But there's still issues. Latency. That can often throw an interactive one off. Expressions, those little micro nuances, it doesn't always nod at the right time. It doesn't always use the right gesture. It's getting better, but it's not quite there. If you were a group of people that didn't use AI, I would be doing a demo with me talking in a whole bunch of languages. My avatar will speak over 100. But you're a more tech crowd. The language part is good, other than it doesn't get always the right inflection, the right notes. So sometimes if it's going to be for something very important, you need to have someone in that language listen to it and say, do we get it right? And then movement realism. It's getting better, substantially better, but not 100% yet. So you might say, okay, well, how long before we need to be worrying about it? I look at it that everyone here should be starting now to train a database around who you are or who your business is to get that right. Just like a shade tree, best time to plant was earlier, second best time is today. You can do a lot of things with avatars very quickly with technology. What we can't do quickly is we can't plug into our brain. We can't plug into the part that is how we make decisions, what makes us unique and different. And that's the part I would suggest to anyone. I'm up to 200 plus hours on a project with one of my avatars. That's a very personalized one. But you need to be looking at a lot of information that you have to put across, especially when it comes to the value parts and how we do decisions. Whenever you talk about interactive five? Okay, we'll make it really fast. Whenever we talk about interactive avatars, almost inevitably that question comes up about immortality. Should my avatar outlive me, right? Which is a good one. And I had a brain aneurysm 3 years ago. And so I look at immortality differently. I look at immortality now as when you see an artist, you see a musician, you see people that have had their works that were able to go on. So as long as they were making an impact, if we're still reading their books, they're still making an impact. So your avatar still has an ability to make an impact for those around you. I have one that's of, it's a family one, so it's all of our memories. I hate that joke up on that one. But you can basically have a legacy within an avatar. There's a few people I'm working with because they're donors and they want to be able to deliver scholarships still to students in their voice and actually be able to say something positive in that nature. So there's a lot of different applications, but one of the things that's important is guardrails. What we believe now, we may not believe in a few years. Think about 50 years ago, what we thought was normal is very unacceptable right now. So our avatars maybe are better for showing how to do something than necessarily showing how to or what to believe. And also maybe we need to have a sunset clause to think about when to turn us off or when to opt in to give us a little bit more. I'm going to let Virtual John say a couple things, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about what's next.
At a summit, it's only fair to admit I'm not the mountain, just a trail sign. I'm built on 2023, 2025 John. So please, double check details that can change. Use me as a compass, not a map. And if you want a compass with your own voice and values, Real John is happy to chat, right after I take a graceful bow.
So, I was hoping to get him to do that, but he wouldn't do it. So what's next? I don't know what's next. My crystal ball, if you asked me 3 years ago if I would be talking and presenting about avatars in Vancouver, I would have thought you were crazy. So I don't know where adoption is going to go or where this technology will go, but augmented reality, holograms, we may be able to have that virtual presence to be that much more personal. It could be voice earbuds where our avatar is a coach that's coaching us along in different aspects. Hopefully no one here is into or worries about Terminator, but possibly some of these amazing robots may have part of us in there to help. I don't know where it's going to go. But I do know that this personalized communication is quite engaging. When I look at students in a group, if I'm doing a workshop, by the end of a series of 5 workshops, they'd rather hear virtual John teaching and doing the class, but they have a relationship. And they're able to go back, but our avatars can work 24/7 and continuous. So that's why I came here to Vancouver, is just to share a little bit about it. If you have a couple of questions, I don't know if we have time or not, but yes, please.
I'm curious if you could elaborate a little bit more on what your voice cloning sessions sort of look like. You mentioned that it would take 2 hours. So I'm imagining that you did maybe one take of one intonation when you were asked, say, talking in the form of a question, and maybe another one where you were expressing anger. Like, what did your session look like?
Well, actually, I do a lot of sessions with people. So I will have them do maximum of 40 minutes because you actually start to see a decline in our voice after 40 minutes unless you do it all the time. And in a whiteboard behind me, because I'll have a couple different mics set up, a whiteboard behind, I'll have them put different topics they want to talk about relative to what we're trying to get it to. So if we want conversational, a lot of times that's a bunch of memories of family, things you like to do, hobbies, etc. It is hard to carry a monologue for 40 minutes, so we'll do chunks. And we'll do video filming in between. But by doing that consistently, and if you want a completely different part, if you want to do presentation, you're going to do 40-minute chunks on presenting. But then you'll have the AI can train properly on that. And you've got something I always say, keep it in a vault because that's you.
Is that a service that you also provide as well?
Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I do that for a lot of people, but also a lot of corporations that are looking for synthetics because they want to have something better than just an FAQ. We don't read things anymore, right? We want to press play. Am I out of time? I got 1 minute. Wow. I'm in Kamloops. Yeah, they kind of threw us all in the group. You're getting 3 Kamloops people in a row. We're like the hub of AI and technology. Good fishing and hunting too. Yeah.
So how did you go from like the seed of your idea to where you're at right now? What did that path look like for you?
I've been in video all the time. I used to have a chain of retail stores. Couldn't afford to hire someone to do, so I went on TV. Then later, as we could get video production, I had a cooking show during COVID. So I got really accustomed to what is that impact when we can actually talk to people. In COVID, we had to get business owners to engage with people. If they're not going to come into a store, you had to be able to form a relationship in a different way. When we started to see that we were going towards having avatars, I got super excited because all of a sudden, that changes the game. And when we can do interactive, that really means that we can magnify our approach huge. We can have way more benefit. It's not just about selling things. It's also about teaching, passing on knowledge. There's a lot of aspects to it. But
in terms of team, like what did you find were the requirements to add to increase your team as you went along, or has it been more like
I'm trying to scale to where I'm just going to be at my cabin doing nothing. So our team is anyone I consult or bring in. I'm not trying to scale what I do. I help out a lot of people. The technology is out there. More of where I help people is how do you actually get the part of you into something. There's lots of platforms that can do this stuff, but where people struggle is how do I actually get it to sound like me and how do I get it to look like me? So a lot of people are disappointed in those things at first because they don't really tell you how much work is involved when you get a free subscription. Yeah. Well, oh, yes.
I'm just curious because when you're asking somebody to put in 200 hours to train something, choosing a platform is very hard because very few of them allow you to extract that data later if, say, technology.
Yeah. 200 hours is my family project, but you're looking at a good 8 to 10 hours if you want to actually have something that is going to be a real strong representative of you.
Do you have a platform recommendation for one that allows you to extract
You could hit me offline for that because we're not promoting in here. There are a number of platforms and there are leaders in all those spaces. But thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to go and